Oh, bloody hell. It's 11:30 and I've just woken up. I didn't go to sleep until 4 because I was texting my friend who was awake. She was a bit nervous about being asleep, the one that had the heart condition. So it's 11:30 and I got a text message from my work colleagues. I think we might be going into work maybe in the next few weeks, I don't know, for a couple of days a week. But the only thing, yes, I've got to be there for 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to cope with that. I don't mind going into work and working, you know, it's just early morning starts. Oh my God. There's another Korean drama called Suspicious Partner. It's just so Mills and Boon-like, but with a bit of a thriller going through it. And oh my God, I'm having to rewind scenes. I'll read this subtitle and then I'll rewind it so that I can see their facial expressions. Oh, this is terrible, isn't it? Way, my friend put these on my outdoor table. Bit of flour, maida. This is from an Indian shop, and curry leaves. I've been really looking forward to get some curry leaves and a bunch of coriander. Thank you. Oh, this is my third bottle of coffee since the lockdown. I think I need to go and get some more. This has been my only kind of drink that I've been having. It's 2 o'clock. I haven't eaten anything yet and I have no desire to either, even though I've got given all these lovely ingredients. I'm not feeling very inspired. I've got a rough idea what I'm going to make, but I don't want to get round to doing it yet. And it got me thinking to one of the stories of when I was living in these lovely areas. I was working in a Portobello market in one of the clinics over there, NHS clinic, and the office manager over there, she was Indian, and she'd married an Englishman. That's not relevant. Anyway, me and her got on quite well, and she knew that my crush for a while was this famous Indian actor, Bollywood actor, and he so happened to be a family friend, and he was in England. She invited him round for dinner, so she invited me. Oh my God, you can just imagine I'm going to go to her house to meet this major crush of mine from teenager years, and I was going to actually have dinner. So I invited my friend Lorna, and she was an Irish girl. She was super cool, you know, she could just create conversation out of thin air. So she came along with me to give me moral courage. And we were in the kitchen. I just remember going to the office manager's house. And she lived in one of those beautiful homes in Kensington. And I was just in awe of her house. So we're walking around, went into a kitchen. She was cooking away a curry and stuff and just chatting. And all that time I was like sweating. My heart was palpitating because he hadn't arrived yet. And when that doorbell rang, oh my God, my heart just dropped. And then they made me sit next to him. And I was just a babbling mess. I just couldn't even talk. Luckily, Lorna was chatting away and everybody else was chatting away. And I was sitting next to him. And then he did the most oddest thing. He got his napkin, tucked it in his shirt and began to wolf down the food. Oh, that was such an ugly sight. And I was like, what? This is the man that I had such a crush on, and yet he doesn't know how to eat properly at a dining table. It was just so undignified, but it didn't really put me off. And he was just asking me a couple of questions, and I just told him straight, I had a crush on you when I was younger, and I even wrote you a letter out in India, and I even got a little postcard back from you, obviously signed by your secretary, because you would never do something like that. And that was it. That's all the conversation I could have. Oh my God. But yeah, that was quite a memorable moment for me. Would I be any, I don't think I would be any different now even. Okay, I'm going to make a red kidney bean curry. I'm going to use 2 tins because I want to go and give some to my friend and next door neighbour. A tin of coconut milk, some chopped tomatoes, and I've got 1 whole onion that's finely chopped,
garlic and ginger, about 4 cloves of garlic and a quarter inch of ginger, just finely chopped up. And then we've got the essential ingredient, which is curry leaves. You really need these. Okay, so get these curry leaves from your local shops. Not bay leaf, it's curry leaves. And then for your dry mix, about a teaspoon and a half of turmeric, a teaspoon and a half of chili powder, about 2.5 teaspoons of garam masala, and a teaspoon of cumin powder.
Dropped off that curry to my friend's house, knocked on the door, left it on her doorstep, and she answers it. She's on her 3rd episode for the day with her kids watching Emperor's Key. It's so addictive. I think in total they're on probably episode 15 or 17. So good on them, they're enjoying it. It's actually 12 o'clock. I've sat down finally. Cooked some dumplings for tonight. I think I overcooked them because the dough was very squidgy. So I'm going to watch an episode or 2 of my little drama. And yeah, it's 9:20 in the morning, and I think I went to sleep at 4:30. So I've only had a few hours sleep, but I just once your eyes are up, I was able to wake up, eyes open, close them, and go back to sleep again. But those days have gone now. I seem to wake up, eyes are open, can't go back to sleep. I've got to get up. So I've got up, come down, got my coffee, and I'm just going to watch 2 episodes of Suspicious Partner, which is a drama. Just to wake up a little bit. My God, an hour-long episode of this Suspicious Partner is taking me an hour and a half. You know why? Because I'm rewinding scenes to relook them and relook them. It's little things that I notice that I have to like rewind it and watch it again. I get all gooey. It's an amazing drama. If you want a quick watch, it's only 12 episodes long, but it really totally is like reading a Mills and Boon's book, but visually it's just amazing, and it's so funny. It really is a comedy. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I still haven't eaten. I just don't feel hungry. I'm not even feeling motivated to make myself porridge or anything like that. I did have an instant where I thought, I fancy having some toast and egg, but that soon disappeared. I'm sure I'll be starving in a bit. But I was just reading on Facebook, there's so many people that are just like me. You've got jobs that needs doing, but you can all wait. You're just taking your time, like maybe just empty your drawer and tidy it up, and that's your chore for the day. It's full of chocolate. It's been like that for a good few days. I am having a bit every day, don't get me wrong, but there's just so much of it. And I just came on to say that, is anybody having the same difficulty as I am? Because we're going to sleep at about 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. I get up round about 9:30. I'm having less sleep than I've ever had, and I can't go back to bed like I used to. In fact, I come down, I put the TV on, and I watch, you guessed it, a drama. That's it. That is the problem. It's the bloody dramas that are like keeping me up and distracted from normal housework and stuff like that. This little segment should be called a Tina Moon's 1 minute history. Because I think I might just give little anecdotes to what my past is all about. So I'll take you back to the time when I was from the ages of, what can I remember? All right, from when I was a childhood. And we were brought up in South London, Tooting. My dad was quite a high up as a tax officer. And my mum was a civil servant. Well, in fact, they both were civil servants. But my dad was probably quite a high ranking. So we had quite a middle class upbringing. We had a nice house, a 6-bedroom house. My dad drove a Mercedes. But we didn't have a social life. The only social life that we had was going up to visit family in Birmingham on the weekends, and that was it. Wasn't allowed out in the evenings. just because there was no one to visit really. So as a kid growing up in Tooting, it was just school and home, and that was it. Then I passed my, what am I trying to say? My first job was as a dental nurse on the weekends, which I did enjoy it, but it wasn't that great. And then I went to British Home Stores and worked on, and that has probably got to be the worst job ever, actually. That was just so brain dead. Oh God, I was so bored in that job, but the money was okay, you know, for a teenager. It was excellent. Then after that, I think my dad made me take driving lessons, and I passed first time. Would you believe? We didn't have a theory test in those days, so yeah, I would fail it definitely for sure this time round. But yeah, I passed first time, so he was absolutely over the moon, because he was also running a business on the side. He was importing sports goods from Pakistan and supplying the sports shops here in London. And he wanted me to take over that business by doing deliveries of the goods and accepting the goods. And he was trying to teach me all about the financial sides of it. And I just wasn't interested. And nor was my brother or my sister. None of us were. So bless him, he worked hard. He worked hard during his day job, and he worked hard in the evenings doing this business. He also had another business where he was selling vegetables from the garage. Very hard working man, but he wanted the nice things in life, and he wanted the nice things for his family, so he worked hard. Oh, and we used to do market stalls. He used to, like, all us kids used to have to get up at ridiculous time in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, to go with my mum and dad to the market to, what were we selling? I can't even remember. Oh, sports gear. That's what we were selling. But that was good fun, because I was chatting to people. I was like probably about 14, 15 there, so you can imagine my hormones were raging. So all the stall holders, it was my little social life. And then, so I got through my O levels, got through my A levels. Bloody hell, that was tough. I did A levels in physics, biology, and chemistry. How the hell I passed, I really don't know, because really to this day I am really shit at maths. And physics was all about maths. I really have no idea. So then I had left to go and do my degree in podiatry. And this was the first time I've tasted freedom. And boy, did I whoop it up for those 3 years that I studied for, being away from, I hardly ever came home. Shocking, isn't it? Even during the holidays that we had, I never came home, because I had 3-4 jobs. I suppose I was a bit like my dad. I was doing my degree and I had evening jobs. I was working in a bar and in a restaurant, and I really, really loved it. I enjoyed it so much that I actually, at one point, I didn't even think about giving up my degree and becoming a full-time bartender. Thank God I didn't. So I used to support myself that way, working. But also my dad, he helped with the rent and everything. And also, I had a BMW. Yes, my dad bought me a BMW. I think he was well proud of the fact that his daughter was doing all right. So yeah. So I was the only student driving around in a nice BMW. So you can imagine, music was on loud and I was zooming up and down the streets. Oh yeah, I used to be in nightclubs 4 times a week at least. And then waking up in the mornings to go to my lectures, and then I'll be drinking, working. Yeah, but that's what my life was. I hardly ever slept, and I lost tons of weight. So those 3 years went by, and then my final year of uni, my dad's actually slightly passed away from a heart attack. So that was probably the biggest shock of my life at the time. But I got over it and I continued on. I've got to remember what happened after that. I'm going to tell you something that's which is probably quite bad, really. From an early age, probably from when I was an early developer, and this uncle of mine, who's a doctor, used to pick me up and rub himself up against me, and I used to feel his bits. And as a kid, you don't really think anything of it, you don't even know what's going on. But this used to happen in front of everybody. He's just like slowly pick me up, rub, pull me up, pull me down. Like he was getting a bit of a rub on. And this happened for quite years. And as I started developing a bit more, he used to come up from behind me and put his hands on my chest area and go, and he used to sit me on his lap and show me porn magazines. And this was at quite a young age. And this went on for up until I think I must have been about 13. I think I still started getting educated on bits, and I told my mum and dad. And because my mum and dad, well, it was an arranged marriage, and it was not a happy marriage. But we never ever heard them argue, because that was one rule that they had, that they would never argue in front of us kids. So we had no idea. So when I told them about this uncle of mine, it got dealt with, and I have no idea how it got dealt with. We never saw them for quite a few years. And this uncle of mine, who's a doctor, got struck off the register because he was caught fondling his female patients. So that was that. He's still around. Yeah, so, but it didn't emotionally affect me. It's just a memory that I had. So from that experience, I think that started off me being a bit awkward around men. I was never confident. Always wearing baggy clothes. Not wanting to like attract too much attention to me physically. So probably in that way it has affected me, because I really don't like that kind of attention, and hence why I wear all the baggy shit that I do. So I'm just charring the aubergine over the gas stove and chopping up my onions and my garlic and my ginger. Right, so I was just charring it like so. This is my usual spot now every evening. Love it. Actually, I'll put that light on. There's a bit more light on my surface area, and then I can just be my own little world. I have my music on, obviously, and I've just been reading up on all these Korean drama actors. I think I can't wait to get back to work, and I bet you guys can't wait for me to go back to work as well. I seem to be a bit more productive when I've got a bit of routine in my life. When I'm like this at home, I get distracted very easily with all these programs that I'm watching. It's become quite an addiction. Let's turn that around. So I don't know, I seem to be in a whirlwind. My friends seem to think that I'm in love, that I'm going through all that in love kind of like dreaming in a daydream all day long, because of this one particular Korean actor who's 32. I mean, he's way too young for me. I'm not that cuckoo, but you know, keeps me going. You know, you've got to have a bit of a fantasy, haven't you? Otherwise life would be really dull and boring. If I was to date anybody that was supremely good looking, had quite a high status, I would have such huge insecurities. The relationship just would not work. I'm so insecure. So no, it's just a fantasy. There's no way I could hold down. I mean, I've been out with some really good looking men, don't get me wrong, I have, and they lacked a lot of personality, to be quite frank. The uglier ones were actually far more entertaining. I guess they have to work harder to keep the women. Have coffee. I don't know how many cups of coffee I'm going through a day. Must be about, it's a lot. It's round about, I would say 10 cups minimum. Everyone's face is slightly different from the left to the right, and you can have a good side and you can have a bad side. I was trying to think which is my good side. I think the good side's this side and the bad side's that one. This is the bulgogi, the Korean steak, which I had marinated overnight. So I'm going to fry that in there.
Got oil in there and the bulgogi in. I've never ever made this, as a new one for me. So we get all the steak a bit. Now we give that.
So here we've got the bulgogi. That's a Korean steak that's been marinated overnight in some sauces. And then we've got the pork belly over here, served with a bit of rice. Right, to try the bulgogi, which is a Korean dish. Oh, that's lovely. It's got the exact amount of sweetness, saltiness, chilliness, tartness. Nice. Oh, look, Kaisa's face is just over the moon. So that was an excellent meal. I think Kaisa's going to probably want it again in a few days' time. It does take a while to like marinate everything overnight, but the finishing off, just cooking it, is so quick. And I'm thinking that if we eat the Chinese way, the Japanese way, the Korean way, it's quite healthy eating. I didn't eat much rice, and that's the only meal I've really had all day, except for those 2 hot cross buns. So me and him are going to go and get onto my portable treadmill, and I think we're going to go and watch a drama together. Right, it's about 12 o'clock. I'm going to edit this video, post it out. I didn't do any shout outs today. Sorry, I'll try and remember to do it tomorrow. It's not as if I've got a busy day tomorrow that I should forget. Anyway, stay safe and stay well.